What if I told you that in order to have the life that you want, in order to have the lover in your bed, the money in the bank, the body of your dreams, the health, the wealth, the success, the connection, the intimacy, the sex, the happiness, the joy. What if I told you that in order to have that, you had to modify your desires? You had to modify your dreams. You had to modify what you wanted. That would seem crazy, right? I mean, I want that. That's my dream. That's my goal. That's my desire. So why do I have to tell myself no to it? Why do I have to change my desire for it to have that? Well, it's pretty simple. Modification is part of life. Modification is something that we all have to go through. It's called growth. That's what modification is. We have to grow into the individual, into the person, into the life that we're wanting. Can you imagine if we never modified? If we just came out of the womb and we never advanced, we never changed, we never transformed, we never developed? Now, modification sounds like we have to take what we want and we have to make it into something that we don't want, right? That we have to really just take away from ourselves, right? Almost like we're compromising with life. And I hate compromise. So, compromise doesn't sound fun. Modification to most people doesn't sound fun. It doesn't sound like a good goal, right? But if you take the word modification and you change it to growth, it sounds a lot better, right? We understand that we need to grow ourselves. Or we conceptually get that we need to grow ourselves, that we need to become something, and that what we are today is not going to get us what we want tomorrow. Yet, day in and day out, we choose to remain exactly the same, repeating the thoughts, repeating the feelings, repeating the actions that we choose to take, expecting that in this repeat cycle that we got ourselves into, that we're going to get something different from it. Now, I know that I've harped on this a couple times in the past, and I've said, just last week, I think I was talking about a very similar topic. But it is that we have to modify our desires. We have to modify our actions. And here's the big ticket item of the modification. We have to actually take responsibility. Take responsibility for the actions that we are choosing to consistently do. Now I hear, and I've said it plenty of times, I own that. I own it. I take responsibility for my crap. I take responsibility for my fuck ups. I take responsibility for, I see how what I was doing there, how my thoughts that got me into trouble, that got me into that negative loop, that created me to do the exact same thing that I've done for the last 3, 5, 10, 20 lifetime years. Well, words are meaningless. Yes, they carry power, but in this instance, they don't mean shit. We can say that we take responsibility all day long for our actions, but it is the action of taking responsibility that is true responsibility. What does that mean? That means to modify your actions. If we say, I'm sorry, and anybody who's close to me knows that I dislike the words I'm sorry, because I don't believe that the majority of people are truly sorry. We're sorry that we got caught. We're sorry that things didn't turn out the way we wanted them to. We're sorry that it's not going our way. We're sorry that somebody's coming at us with confrontation, but we're not really sorry that we did the action, right? So it's just my take on that right there. But here's the thing. We can say, I'm sorry. We can say, I take responsibility. We can say, I own it. Yes, I get it. But until we actually decide to transform, to expand, to grow, to change the thought, to change the feeling around the thought, and to do something different, then we're just basically going, whatever. I'm going to give you the ease of my words, right? I'm going to try to appease you. I'm going to try to appease life. I'm going to try to make you think that I really care. But I don't. Because I want what I want, and I want it how I want it, and I don't want to have to change anything in this land of familiarity, of comfort. I just want this new life. I just want this new way of being. I want all that. But I don't want to have to do anything for it. Don't want to have to do anything. Now maybe you're going, well, that's crazy, right? Like you can't have it. And that's what I want you thinking. But then I want you to look at your life, and I want you to apply this to your love relationship. I want you to apply it to your health. I want you to apply it to your finances. Now, I would think that coming out of, and I'm going to pick on finances here, because I think that coming out of last year, I think a lot of people probably accumulated a lot of debt. A lot of job losses, a lot of, just way things were going, that the money wasn't going there, was we started spending in different ways. And there's just a lot of people that have massive debt, or maybe you have some astronomical thing that occurred over the last however many years, and you really say, I want to pay that debt off, because debt is nasty, right? Debt weighs you down. Debt is, I don't know. To me, debt feels nasty, gross, dirty. There's debt that you want to have, but for the most part, debt is not something that we want. Well, we can say, I want to become debt-free, but if we keep doing what we do, spending the way we spend, spending more than what we make consistently, then what's going to end up happening? Well, more debt, right? And then we sit around and we go, well, I want to be debt-free. Well, we worry so much on the problem that we remain in the problem, and that focus around the problem causes the stress around the problem, which causes us to spend more, which creates a bigger problem, more debt, more pain, more suffering. And the pattern that needs to change is to learn how to spend less, right? There's only two ways out of debt: make more, spend less. Those are the two things. If you can get both of those going for you, then you're really good, right? And that's awesome. That's the place that you want to be. But for the majority of people out there, the make more probably isn't an option. The spend less could be an option. I'm not going to turn this into a debt, service thing here. But if you look at your debt, if you look at your love life, you want to, and I've heard around COVID on this one, I've heard, well, nobody wants to go out. There's no place to go on dates. Nobody wants to, to meet. Everybody's scared. Everybody's scared of this. Well, now we're starting to have some restrictions moved up and everything. What's your excuse now? What was your excuse back in 2019? What was your excuse in 2018, 2017, however long you've said, I want to meet somebody, but you chose not to? 2020, guess what? Plenty of people met people. Plenty of people went on dates. Plenty of people fell in love in 2020. But it was a decision. It was because they were open to expanding themselves. They were open to being more transparent. They were open to being more vulnerable. They were open to love. So the transition that has to happen there for a lot of people is to lay down the armor and to be willing to feel. There's lots of grieving around last year. And I hear this a lot from people like, oh, it was such a bad year. I really suffered. I'm grieving the loss, mourning. Well, guess what? Those same people are scared to death to feel the loss. So what is the thing that we have to modify there? We have to modify our thinking that to armor up, whether we're dealing with the love relationship or the grieving, we have to modify our desire to remain armored and protected, all the while wanting to let go of the pain, to let go of the suffering, to let go of whatever the loss is, or to open up to love, to open up to a partner, to open up to whatever that might look like, that picture that you have in your head. If you have the desire of connecting with somebody, or if you have the desire of letting go of something, then you have to be willing to make the transition inside yourself, to lay down the armor, to really feel, to really let yourself be seen. No matter what path you look at, and you can go down the health path briefly here, right? The health path. Well, what 2020, what brought a lot there? I hear a lot of people like, oh, 2020, I gained so much weight. I was, fatigued, and I was stressed, and I ate more, and I was sedentary more, and I did this and I did that. And oh, look at this. I gained 10, 20, 30 pounds. But this year I'm going to make a change. Well, how much did you gain in 2019? How much did you gain in 2018? How sedentary were you in previous years? What were your eating habits like then? Because I can tell you what, my eating habits have gotten better. My health routine has gotten better. It's a focus. It's not just getting stuck in the repetitive nature of the program. And that's what we're talking about here, is the repetitive nature of your program. The things that you think are you at a core. Well, it's just my core. I just don't have the energy for that. I'm not an outgoing person. I'm not bubbly. I'm not, connective like that. I feel awkward around people. I don't know what to do. I don't feel smart enough. I don't feel attractive enough. I don't. That's the first thing that you have to modify. That thinking around that you can't, that you don't have it. And maybe bringing back that desire of like, okay, I'm not going to go and have the 6-pack by June when it's April, when I'm still grabbing fast food for breakfast and not exercising. I'm not going to be debt-free this year when my spending has increased and my income is the same or less. I'm not going to find that lover, that other, the one, as long as I'm sitting at home and waiting for him to knock on my door. Now, granted, the Amazon driver just came and dropped off some packages, And I mean, I guess maybe he's single and maybe he's going to knock on some single person's door and they're going to lock eyes and it's going to be a match made in heaven. And yeah. Okay. It's slim to none that that's going to happen for that guy or whoever. So if you're waiting on somebody to come knock on your door and say, I am the one, I have arrived, so that you don't have to get off your ass and put together your life and work on you. Become worthy of the relationship. Become worthy of the cash flow. Become worthy of the opportunity in your finances, in your workplace. Become worthy of the body. Become worthy of the health. Become worthy of the letting the shit go. All of it means that you have to change to modify who you are. And here's the thing that you're really not going to want to hear. 2 things. Okay? Number 1, it's uncomfortable as fuck to modify, to change, to grow. It's uncomfortable as fuck. And number 2, you're going to feel like you're not being you. You're going to feel absolutely inauthentic, like nothing else. You are going to wonder, like, do people really see like how fake I am? So you're going to deal with insecurity. You're going to deal with anxiety. You're going to deal with fear. You're going to deal with frustration. You're going to deal with anger. You're going to go, why? Why do I have to be something that I'm not? Because you want what you don't have. And if you really truly want what you don't have, then you have to become the match for whatever it is that you're wanting. Okay, so The things that you want, the things that you desire, they want you to, they desire you to. I've been saying that for, gee whiz, as long as I've been doing live streams, as long as I've been writing, as long as I've been coaching. The things that we desire us too. But those things that we desire are operating at a higher frequency. And they're not going to decrease their frequency to come to us. We have to change our frequency. We have to change our vibration. We have to move up that scale, not it move down the scale, because guess what? We wouldn't want it if it was down the scale. It wouldn't be as beautiful. It wouldn't be as desirable. It's not going to be that luscious, yummy, whatever it is that you're wanting if it decreases. Okay? So, modification. Modify your fucking desires first. Shrink it down. Make it believable. Okay? Take it step by step. You didn't learn how to walk overnight, and you didn't come out of the womb running and talking and being able to make money or wanting a relationship with somebody. You didn't come out of the womb with any of that. You grew baby steps along the way. This is you bringing your desire back into a realm that is just far enough out of what you have right now that it causes you just enough of a shaking of your cage that you go, whew, I have to breathe into this. And then you expand into that and you grow to that, okay? That's what that is. You grow to that. And then you breathe in because you expand it out just a little bit further, a little bit further, a little bit further. And you take those incremental steps toward your big desire. But if you're focusing in on that big desire and you're thinking that you can remain right here where you're at and get it, you're crazy. Okay? You're absolutely fucking crazy. So just stop that shit because you're just causing yourself suffering. Look at your life. Look at the things that you want. See how this might apply. It applies to all of us. There's not one of us that gets off on this. We're all guilty of trying to expand out there and get things that we're not ready for, thinking that they should just come. And as always, remember that you are worthy. You are worthy of the love, the health, the wealth, the life. You're worthy of all of it. It's just growing into who you truly are so that you can have what you want. As always, everybody, I'll catch you next time with another Conscious Coffee. I love you guys. Remember, stop existing, start living, and I'll catch you another day. Bye, everybody.